Dave.
Hey,
Just
Rob.
looking at Connor's logs. He's got 3 or more points in 7 of his last 9 games. I mean, it's just not normal. What have you seen from him in the last couple of weeks that elevated his production from a level that was already better than everyone else? What clicked?
I don't know. He's really concentrating on getting his game in order for playoffs, and that's what we've talked to all our players about. Continue to raise your level and get ready. And I mean, he comes into every game. It's crazy how it goes. He gets so many chances and creates so many chances that sometimes those pucks go in the net for either him or who he's setting up, and other times they don't. But he's been on a pretty good run here lately. But it's about him making sure his game's in order, get ready for playoffs.
This must be contagious throughout the lineup. You see with the way he plays, what he says when he comes out here. Darnell and Leon, when they come out, Mike Smith are all kind of preaching that same party line. That must be kind of a lot of what you want to see and hear heading down the stretch.
It is. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. It's just there's preparation that has to take place long before the playoffs start, and we've tried to push that. The other night we didn't have a very good start in the game, which will be addressed today. That's got to be. There's things that in your game that have to be in place. So you're not changing anything going to the playoffs. You've got everything up and running where you feel like you're comfortable with everything. So that's our goal, to keep pushing ahead. And there's times when you got to grab it a little bit. The other night wasn't the game we wanted. We got to make sure we come out and play a much better game tonight.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Dave, as a coach, when a player like Darnell Nurse has a fight this late in the season with the playoffs coming and the fact that lots of guys break their hands in fights, do you hold your breath when there's fights late in season with the playoffs coming?
Well, there is that factor. I'd be lying to you if I told you that you don't think about that, because there is a worry, but there's also a game to be played, and Nursey, and now you see, I was wondering why he was so mad. Now I know why he was so mad. The guy kneed him right in the head, so that's just part of the game that happens, and you got to be. You don't want your players getting hurt. But that being said, there's the emotion, and the game takes over sometimes.
And player changes tonight. Will Kulikov be out?
Yeah, Kulikov is dealing with a lower body injury, so precaution-wise, we'll keep him out tonight. Lagesson will go in for him.
And what's the story with Haas? He's been out now for quite some time. Is this
he's dealing
worrisome, or is he going to be ready for the playoffs?
No, he'll be ready. He'll be ready. He's skating again, so he took a shot off the foot that it's continue to improve, and hopefully we'll get him back in the lineup here soon.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
Okay, this is a bit of a long shot, Dave. December 30th, 1981, you were playing your first year in North Dakota. Gretzky scored 5 to get 50 and 39. Do you remember that?
No, I remember seeing it on highlights and that, but I don't. It wasn't I mean, I'm sure it was looked upon as an unbelievable accomplishment then, but I was a young guy in college, Spec. I had a lot more to worry about than Gretz scoring 5 goals.
Okay, so you ended up playing against Gretzky throughout your career.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get on Connor, prepare for Connor here, because the big stars, they kind of see the spotlight, and you know what? If you got 4 tonight, it wouldn't surprise anybody. You played against Gretz. What was it feeling being a player on the ice when Wayne Gretzky was on the other team?
That he was going to embarrass you. I mean, I was one of those guys that had to chase Gretz around and try to keep him off the board, and you're playing for your life then, because you know it's going to be a hard job for you that night. So it's the elite players they have a knack of having an impact on the game, and when you're playing against them, you're just hoping that impact isn't to the point where A, you lose the game, B, you get embarrassed. So that's certain players have that. I played a year with Mario in Pittsburgh, and there'd just be games where he would just be dominant, and you could tell the other team was trying to check him and trying to do everything they could to stop him. And certain players just have that element that they have a huge impact on the game, and Connor's in that group.
Thank you.
Daniel Nugent-Bowman, The Athletic.
I was going to ask you about that, Dave, because correct me if I'm wrong, I think Mario was a little bit older when you were teammates with him, and Connor's just right in the prime of his career. Is there any kind of comparison between the two in the way that you get to have been able to watch them up close?
Well, it's hard to compare the two. The comparison you make is the impact they have on their team and the game. And, as eras change and the game continues to change, there's different ways that players impact the game. Mario's didn't do as much with speed that Connor does with speed. And, so there's different eras in the game, but in the end, the players like that, they have a huge impact on the game. And, that's elite players have the capability of doing that. And that's, Mario had that capability and Connor has that capability.
So notwithstanding Thursday's game, which you didn't like, obviously, this team has been on a tremendous roll for weeks. What is an area or two? Are there a couple areas that you can kind of pinpoint that you're really trying to iron out? Because it seems from afar that things are going relatively well here.
No, we're always digging into details of our game, habits of our game, areas that we have to make sure we're in place going in. We address a lot of those things every day, so we just have to continue to improve, continue to make sure our game's in the right place. Right now we're tinkering around trying to find the best fit for lineup and combinations, and some of that will not be finalized until we figure out who we're playing. But it's there's lots to work on here. There's lots to continue to improve, and that'll be our goal here the last 4 games.
Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Dave, we asked Connor about this 100-point thing, and he'll answer the questions, but generally speaking, he tends to not make a big deal of it. Do you notice and sort of appreciate his tact, the way he seems to be more singularly focused on the team and preparing for the playoffs? Do you think he's handled this the right way?
I think that's exactly it. That's who he is. He's really dialed into making sure our team is ready to go for the playoffs, and it's just like we talk about getting our team ready. Like if we play a certain way, the standings and the ability to win will be in place. And I'm sure he thinks that about his own game. If he plays as well as he can, the points thing will take care of itself, whatever it is. So he's really dialed in on making sure that we're moving the right direction, doing the right things for the playoffs, and I'm sure if he feels he does his part, the stats will take care of themselves.
This isn't specific to the other night because it obviously wasn't a good start, but what would your observation be about your team and its ability to start games on time, how important that is, and how you think you are with that?
I think we've been very solid all year. The last 2 games haven't been near as. We made a bad mistake in the first shift of the game in Vancouver and the second game in Vancouver, and then we had poor coverage the start of the one last game. So those are certainly situations that we want to address, but that hasn't been an issue for our team all year.
Jim Matheson.
A couple of things, Dave. Will Shore play tonight? Will Ennis play tonight?
Shore will play. Ennis won't play tonight.
Okay, and have you been vaccinated? Because you're a little bit older and you're in that age group like the rest of us in Alberta that you could have been vaccinated.
I have my first one under my belt, yeah.
Okay, and have you been told that, the team, because the American teams, obviously, they're relaxing their situation and as long as their players are vaccinated, and lots of their players have been. Is it, the way it is in Canada? Has the team been vaccinated? No.
There's we're going to be at a distinct disadvantage from the vaccination point because of the U.S. is just ahead in the vaccination process that we are.